Well, it's like this. Jason was going over our work so far, and something was missing. And when we reviewed part 2, we realized what it was. We didn't talk about the meantime. I mentioned it, but that's not good enough. So we're making this part 2.5. Because we can't neglect what usually amounts to be the most extensive section of time during the entire enterprise. To begin with, talking about doing nothing is a non-starter because we can't just do nothing. No, you have to do something. But it's better for context if we made this into a scenario. Everybody wants to get laid and paid. Right. So for this example, let's say you want a holistic style of life upgrade. And by that, we mean at the very least, a 2x improvement on all levels of your life. We're talking about some significant upgrades in your career or business. We're talking about improvements with your mental health and physical health and a fitness routine you can stick with. We're also talking about your personal life. If you're in an unhappy relationship, how to transmit it into something better. Or maybe it's just time to cut losses and roll out. Or maybe you're single and want better options than what you're dealing with now. As you can see, the person in this scenario needs more than just one situation set right. They need a reality transmutation. This is just what tools like our HJ's list from It Works comes in handy. Because it's a simple system to follow and use. And let's say you're doing just that. So you're working the system morning, afternoon, and before bed. As you can imagine, getting your list fulfilled may take some time. So, what do you do in the mean and in between times? This is a serious question, because let's say it's going to take 1.5 years for your new lifestyle to develop. What do you do while you wait? There are 2 lines of thought around this question, and they go like this. One is you put all your energy into working on the thing you want, while you use your mind to rearrange the living hologram to your liking. This is visualizing a better job, while at the same time carpet bombing the job search engines, reworking your resume, updating your LinkedIn profile, and you get the point, right? This is the mainstream path because it does not rely on woo-woo metaphysics. You're keeping it pretty conventional with a bit of mindfulness, meditation, and a vision board on the side. Nice and safe. The problem is that this path is a hell of a lot of work, and depending on your situation, you could be either getting in your own way or burning yourself out. Burnout is easy enough to understand. But what do we mean by getting in your own way? Well, for most people, including you watching us right now, and thank you for watching by the way, we do appreciate your time. And if you're enjoying these kinds of videos, could you do us a favor and just tap that like button real quick? Take my word on this. Artificial intelligence can't all think for themselves just yet. They still need our help. Thanks. Now, as I was saying, most people do not give themselves enough credit. And that's a significant understatement, because people seem to find the most interesting ways to put themselves down. For example, why do most people call themselves middle class? Why are you calling yourself average? And furthermore, why in the hell is that alright with you? It's mind-boggling. When you call yourself middle anything, you are saying you're average. And that seems to be the theme of the times right now. Getting in your own way means blocking your subconscious and unconscious from doing all they can for you. Because the fact is your inner self thinks a heck of a lot more of you than you do. So, while you may settle for flying economy or business class, your subconscious and unconscious minds would like to park a Gulfstream jet in your backyard. Hangar included. But this is the risk of going with option number 1. You end up working too darn much, just to settle for far less than you could have had. So, what about option 2? Option 2 is the set it and forget it model. This is where you do everything inside your head in your imagination, and do not lift a finger to make anything happen. Now, this sounds much better, at least at first, but the waiting can be a killer, because there is literally nothing else for you to do outwardly. But wait, people have so much trouble with this method because they don't understand you are not just waiting. You are also, as often as possible, living in your mental creation. You are constantly revving up your mind 3 or 4 times a day with nothing to show on the outside for your efforts. And it can be annoying to keep going into profound states to live out your dreams for 10 or 15 minutes. only to open your eyes to the same old gray parking structure. You're not off living your dreams. You're just on break at work. No, your hand isn't resting on some woman's perfectly formed brown ass. Your hand is actually on the side console of your car, and you better get back into work before your break's over. Yes, that kind of contrast can drive you batty, especially if you have a vivid imagination and get lost in your mental programming. Still, ironically, that's the kind of focus you need to make the living hologram move. So, what can you do? First, you have to decide which method you want to go with and then work at it as if your life depends on it. Even if you mix the two together and do 80% one method and 20% the other, that works just as well. But you have to find the right balance and stick with it. Next, cut off all negative people from your life. And we mean a hard stop on a nice edge. Negative people have stunted more good plans than we care to think about. They are of no use to anyone but the good Lord, and He can have them all. Next, change your routine thinking. You can't become someone new unless you actually become that new person. What are you doing with your free time that you can't adjust towards what you're wanting? What are other people who now have what you want doing right now? Do they have a YouTube channel you can follow, or a website, or social media presence? Get into the world you want to occupy. If you're changing your life, there are 1,001 adjacent things that come along with all these changes. Start researching them. If you want millions, and you know soon as that happens, you're headed for the equator, it's a good idea to learn Spanish now. The Latinas you'll be chasing after will appreciate your efforts. We kid, but seriously, get yourself into the mood. And when you burn out on that, find other uplifting things and movies and music to inspire you. Sounds like a lot of work, and it is, but Jason is adamant about keeping this channel and the Awake Mind website as bullcrap free as possible. And that means leveling with you about what it really takes to make significant changes in your life. Because once you have the realization that this world is all mind, it will dawn upon you that there is no meantime. That's just a label for people to use until they understand that what they are doing is adopting a new lifestyle. You are dying to the old you, so the new you can arise. The meantime is a transition. And really, you don't have to do much except keep your nerves, emotions, and doubting mind at rest. To use the flight analogy again, you don't have to pilot the plane. You just need to keep the passengers' nerves, emotions, and doubting mind calm. And you do that by changing what and where you place your attention while you're letting the living hologram rearrange itself. And really, that's all there is to it. But you must use the meantime to forge yourself into the you that you want to be. And you do it by working on all the little supporting interests that go along with what you're visualizing to be true. So that's the meantime. It's really an opportunity if you take advantage of it. There's that word again, but anyway, in the meantime and in the between time, take damn good care of you. Lock out.